these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu l'chadlik ner shel Shabbat.
What?
They covered that on the Bobby Bowden show. I texted her.
Oh, cool.
I said, they're talking about your friend on the Bobby Bowden show.
Yes, Susan.
I had the pleasure on Sunday of performing with Yo Palace Symphony Chorus for the second time. It was a really, really good concert. Missed it. It was recorded. Share the recording.
Wonderful. Yes.
I am celebrating my daughter being here.
Yay! Wonderful, wonderful. I thought there was someone I didn't recognize.
Last Friday was my birthday, even though I was homesick. And my husband, for my birthday, got me a brand new HVAC system in my house when it died.
Isn't that like buying your wife a vacuum cleaner?
No, we're in Florida. Air conditioning's a plus.
Oh, right. HVAC, right. He didn't buy you like a maid's outfit or anything.
No.
Yes, sir. Nice haircut, by the way. Oh, yeah, that's right. You were on the TV. It's loud. Wow. That's amazing. Congratulations, Matthias. 29. Actually, I know how old you are because I was just putting your information in the system, but I won't tell anybody. I would like to say, since I don't believe he's here because he's performing, if you haven't had the chance or to purchase tickets yet, you should, to see the play that is being put on, the production that's being put on at Stone Creek this weekend. Bruce Kaplan is one of the stars. It only stars like 5 people. It's called Over the River and Through the Woods, and it's a really fantastic play. I was able to go see it last night as during the dress rehearsal because I can't tomorrow night. So if you have a chance, I would highly recommend go seeing it. It's a fantastic play. Anybody else? Yes. And Joe told me that apparently the entire place that you left our dogs want to adopt Flory. So Ken Colin, who just walked in, offered me a gift that Batya told me if it happens, she'll kill me. Apparently, he wrote me in for the write-in for the vacant house seat that's coming up. Don't get any ideas. Okay, let his be the only vote. Because, yes. Maybe so, but I think I'd like to stay married. We're going to continue with the singing of Oseh Shalom, which is on page 62. Oseh Shalom bimromav, Uyaseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, imru, amen. Ya'aseh Shalom, Ya'aseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, Ya'aseh Shalom, Ya'aseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh Shalom, Ya'aseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh Shalom, Ya'aseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. I'm not waving at you, Wayne. I'm waving at Ruby. We'll continue on page 343 with the singing of Oziv Zimrat Yah. Oziv Zimrat Yah, Vayahi li Lishua. 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 And now I'm going to invite the choir to rise and lead us in the singing of Lecha Dodi, which is on page 20. You want me to start you off? Which version would you like to sing? Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. We continue on page 25. And Jacob left Beersheba and set out for Haran. Coming upon a certain place, he passed the night there, for the sun was setting. Taking one of the stones of the place, he made it his headrest as he lay down in that place. He dreamed, and lo, a ladder was set on the ground with its top reaching to heaven. And lo, angels of God going up and coming down on it. And lo, Adonai stood up above it and said, I, Adonai, am the God of your father Abraham and God of Isaac. The land on which you are lying I will give to you and to your descendants. And your descendants shall be like the dust of the earth, and you shall spread out to the west and the east and the north and the south. Through you and your descendants all the families of the earth shall find blessing. And here I am with you. I will watch over you wherever you go, and I will bring you back to this soil. I will not let go of you as long as I have yet to do what I have promised you. Waking from his sleep, Jacob said, Truly, Adonai is in this place, and I did not know it. He was awestruck and said, How inspiring is this place! This is none other than the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven. Please rise for the Chatzi Kaddish on page 26. Yitgadal ve'yitkadash shmei Rabbah V'yalma divrach Yerutei v'yamlich malchutei B'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imeru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lol me'almaya yitbarach ve'yishtabach V'yitzba'ar, v'yitzramam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shmei dekudesha brechu. Leila min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma, V'meru, amen. Turn to page 28 for the Baruch Hu. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Baruch Hu Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Olam Va'ed. Please be seated. We turn to page 30. And get ready to stand again in just a few minutes. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe. Yeah. Who speaks the evening into being. Oh, don't quiet her. We all enjoy the noise. Excuse me, the sound. Skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling away from darkness and from darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. And as promised, please rise and turn to page 34. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Please be seated. We continue with the chanting of the Ve'ahavta on page 36. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'aderech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha Ukshartam leot al yadecha ve'hayila totafot bein einecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru vasitem et kol mitzvotai Vitem kedoshim lelohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim. Liot lachem lelohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Adonai Elohechem emet. We read responsively on page 39. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we our forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. I invite the choir to rise once again, and we turn to page 40 for the singing of Micha Mocha. You me start you again? You got this one?
I think so.
Lai, 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 la, lai, la, lai, la, 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 la.
Nora
Please be seated, choir. We turn to page 42. Please join me in the Chatimah, the final line in Hebrew of the Hashkivenu. Baruch atah Adonai hapurei sukat shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al kol amo. Ve'al Yerushalayim shalom. Baruch atah Adonai hapurei sukat shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. All right, choir, lead us in Yisbuchu, page 44. You can stand, please, please.
Ready?
You want me to get you started, or are you good?
We'll start.
Go for it.
Yismechu v'malechutecha shomrei 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 Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha shomrei 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 Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. Shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. Ratzi dabo v'kirashto Shabbat. Shendat yamim oto kamata Yismechu v'malechutecha shomrei 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 Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. Lemase Bereshit Shabbat. Lemase Bereshit Shabbat.
Yismechu v'malechutecha shomrei 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 Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha shomrei 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 Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. We rise together, if we are able, on page 46 for the Amidah. Adonai sefai tiftach ufi agid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim Vekonei Hakol Vezocher Chastei Avot V'Imahot Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem Leman Shmo Be'ahava Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen Baruch Atah Adonai Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechaye HaKol Atah Rav Lehoshia Morid Hatal Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim Noflim Verofei Cholim Umatir Asurim Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar Michamocha Baal Gevurot Umido Melach Melech Memit Umechaye Umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman Atah L'Hachayot HaKol Baruch Atah Adonai Mechaye HaKol Atah Kadosh V'Shimcha Kadosh U'Kadoshim B'chol Yom Yahalelucha Selah Baruch Atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated. Page 55. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch Atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Page 57. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch Atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha b'yirah na'avod. Choir, let's sing Shalom Rav, shall we? Page 60. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atah melech Adon Lechol hashalom. Ki atah melech Adon Lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'enecha levarech et amcha Yisrael, bechol עת ובכל שעה, בשלומך. Shalom Rava Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rava Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. We take a few moments now for our own silent thoughts and prayers. We continue singing Yehi Ratzon on page 62. So fast. There you. Which one are we doing? Yehi Ratzon Imrefi. Let's start again. That was my bad because I forgot which one we were doing. This is, by the way, you guys should know something. I was going to say this for the Mishnah Baruch, but I'll say it now. I received 2 phone calls yesterday. Well, actually, a phone call and an email yesterday from Deborah Johnson and from Dale Berman that a mutual friend of theirs was going to the hospital, was very ill. That's why Dale is not here this evening. So, unfortunately, he passed away earlier, so we'll be saying his family's name during the Mishnah Baruch instead of his. But Jay and I literally had 20 minutes this morning to go over these songs. So give me a little bit of I got it? Fantastic. So you want to start us again there, Jay? Yehi Ratzon Imrefi. Am I going too slow again? Guys, I need some help. Sing with me, because I need some help here. Because this is not my. I sound beautiful. Thanks, Wayne. I can sound like garbage, and you'd still think I sound beautiful, Wayne. Yehi Ratzon Imrefi. Vehegyon libi lifnecha. Yehi Ratzon Imrefi. Vehegyon libi lifnecha. I think we're off, but let's just keep singing. Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Vegoali, Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Vegoali. Let's put that song out of its misery. You sounded great, and we all sounded great individually. We'll just put it together the next time. It'll be the best ever.
I think we're reverting back to the old tune that the synagogue sang a long time ago. I think that's what happened. I think they'll bring it back.
We'll say that. We'll blame it on that. That's fine. Listen, it's Shabbat. We're supposed to be resting, so let's rest our voices. We come now to page 253. for the Mishaberach. And as I mentioned a few moments ago, we will be considering in our prayers of healing this Shabbat the family of Bill Gaston, friend of Deborah Johnson and Dale Berman. We also consider in our prayers for healing Michael Barron, Naomi Berman, Herbert Brinker, Tracy Duquette, Yocheved Brucha Bat Devora, Isabel Hutchins, Dr. Ann Kaler, Elise Kaplan, Kathy Katz, Sharon Kennedy, Jean Kincaid, Carol Cutlin, Leslie Latto, Ruth Martin, Linda Nicolette, Anat Prager, Hillary Katz-Regan, George Kaufman, Moise Rosenblum, Christine Ruckman, Jackie Sachs, Terry Stein, Dr. Hossein Tehrani, Bonnie Tillman, Elisa Zeman, Jean Attic, mother of Mildred Olstein's daughter-in-law, Roger Bell, friend of Barbara and Barry Adler, Patrick Clifton, husband of Sarah Clifton, Harriet Cohen, cousin of Mike Nusinov, Joe Coltrera, son of Kathy Katz, Beverly Gordon, mother of Amy Schwartz's daughter-in-law, Danielle Heilman, brother of Melissa Yarger, Amy Hodges, daughter of Diane and Richard Lawrence, Kim Comrade, daughter of Rita Singer, Sheldon Lieberman, friend of Barbara and Barry Adler, John Lottich, cousin of Rachel and Darrell Etheridge, Helen Newman, mother of Marcel Schwimmer, Richard Paulus, friend of Betsy Brody, Hillel Roebuck, cousin of Dale Berman Garfinkel, Ann Sack, sister-in-law of Betsy Brody, Elizabeth Wadbrook, friend of Betsy Brody, Nicole Way, friend of Barbara and Barry Adler, and Arlene Stein, sister of Ann Conley. If there is a name that you'd like to add in our prayers of healing this Shabbat, please raise your hand.
Michelle Avent. The policeman that was shot in Kentucky. I don't know his name.
Sammy Burko. My sister Debbie Grossford Myers and our great niece Lilith Velarde.
Choir, would you like to rise and join me in the singing of Mishaberach, page 253? Mishaberach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leilotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha La'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. As you may be aware, I grew up in Columbia, South Carolina. Whenever I go to Columbia, there is one action I always do. I visit the one woman who was the strongest and most important woman in my life until I met Batya. Wow, thanks, Richard. My mom, Claire Lily Boxt. Were you thinking I was going to say Ruth? Were you thinking I was going to say Ruth? My former rabbi, who passed away, his wife was Ruth, and they're from Columbia. My mom, Claire Lily Box, resides in a grave at the Hebrew Benevolent Cemetery in downtown Columbia. Claire Lily Box died on December 1st, 2004, and I have vowed to visit her every time I'm in Columbia. These are not usually very long visits, but long enough for me to say hello, catch my mom up with whatever is going on in my life, and to kiss her headstone. To say my mother and I had a challenging relationship would have been a great understatement. However, she was my mother, and I will always visit no matter what. Another very strong woman in my life was Betty Lilly, my Nana, my mother's mother, who passed away in 2020. Before she died, Nana lived in the Presbyterian home of Columbia. Visiting with Nana became somewhat more challenging as time moved forward. You see, Nana had dementia, and as she got older, her memory started to vanish, including at one point not remembering who I was. In one of my visits, she asked me if I was married 3 times. Unfortunately, in my line of work, I see this way too often. I will admit that the first time I visited someone with dementia or Alzheimer's, it was very difficult to understand what was going on. One of the doctors said to me the following, quote, "No matter how hard it is for you, it is always harder for them." He explained that for those who are getting older, it is extremely difficult, at least at first, to feel as if you're losing your memory, losing the most precious of thoughts and images and information you may have ever had. After one of my visits to Nana, my sister texted me and asked if Nana remembered who I was. I replied, "I don't think so." Becky then sent me a frowny face text. An emoji. I replied, "Unfortunately, I see this every day." She replied, "Not from your Nana." As I was driving home after the visit with Nana, I began to think about what Becky had said and how I responded. You see, the losing of one's memory is one of the most unexplainable things. There may be science behind it, but it is something we may never truly understand. Although, on a side note, I believe they are in very, very early stages on mice in Israel of a cure for Alzheimer's. But I'm not going to cross my fingers. You might think that it should be more difficult for me than it was for my Nana, who was not remembering me, as opposed to a congregant and their family. However, for me, it is very much the same. As a rabbi, I find myself in situations all the time that may be perceived by someone else as miserable. And do not get me wrong, sometimes I have to take a break and a breath. In one of the first years of my rabbinate, I buried a 6-week-old child. Everything since then has been put in perspective. When my 90-year-old grandma, Nana, didn't recognize me, for sure, it hurt. However, my Nana had lived a full and amazing life. She was the mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother of an entire family of people. She influenced a great deal of people. It is not that I have no feelings or am inhuman. It is, though, that I appreciate all of the many things that I will always remember about Nana, even if she did not remember them. And even though she did not recognize or remember me, she treated me and loved me as if she did. And no one can take that away from me. So what does this story have to do with Parshat Metzorah, which is part of the one half of our portion this week? We have a double portion, Tazria Metzorah, and there is a large emphasis on a skin disease, tzara'at. Often, repeat this again because people don't understand this, often mistranslated as leprosy or skin disease. Truthfully, what tzara'at represents or symbolizes is much more important than what it actually is. What it represented is something bad, a disease, a plague, who knows? When I made the commitment to visit with my Nana, it did not matter how badly or sad I felt when I realized I was not remembered. I still loved and will always love Nana, and deep down I knew and still know that she loved me as well. She may have been afflicted by something unknown or unexplainable. Who knows? However, that Tzara'at would have appeared if and when I forgot to visit and love her. I bet you thought I was referring to her sickness. Truth is, it is up to us to show love and support for those in our lives, regardless of what is happening to them. When it is the hardest for us, we must recognize it will always be harder for them. Just as homes can be affected by tzara'at, as in this week's parsha, so can our hearts. If we allow ourselves to turn away or ignore the pain of others, even if it pains us to see our loved ones in this way, then we are afflicted with tzara'at. Excuse me. Parshat Metzora provides answers for how to cure our homes from tzara'at. We can take the same cure and apply it to our own hearts. If we shut out and ignore, the disease is certain to stay. However, if we accept and reach out to embrace, then the disease goes away, even if only temporarily. I guess that is the answer I was always looking for. Yes, I was saddened by the condition my Nana was in. However, I have so many years and years of memories, love, and experiences that enabled me to embrace Nana even as she lost more of her memory. It's okay to break down and cry. There is no need to always be stoic. However, I choose to think of the happiness and the great fond memories I have. And just because I saw Batya smiling when I said memories, I had to tell you one of my favorite memories of Batya and my Nana. It was the first time my Nana had ever met Batya before we were married. We were going up to her house. She lived in this condo in Colombia. And she was making dinner or something. And Batya, who had never cooked a day in her life prior to that moment, walked into the kitchen to help and said, "Is there anything I can help you with?" And my Nana responded by saying, "Get your body out of my kitchen." I will never forget that. She had no idea if Batya ever cooked before, but that was her kitchen. My prayer for us this evening is that we may take some time this Shabbat and reach out to those in our families and circle of friends with whom we have lost touch. Life is not infinite. It is finite. Therefore, we should always take advantage of the time that we have. Never forget to say, "I love you." Never forget to hug and kiss. And most importantly, never forget those who made us who we are today. Shabbat Shalom. As your scraggly-looking, caveman-looking rabbi, I invite you to join me as we count the Omer on page 278. For those of you that remember, I do not shave or cut my hair during the Omer. That's why I look like a caveman. No offense to cavemen. Hineni muchan umzuman lekayem mitzvat aseh shel sfirat haomer. I am ready to fulfill the mitzvah of counting the Omer. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kedishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat haomer. Our praise to you, Adonai, sovereign of all, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to count the Omer. Hayom shisha asar yom shehem shnei shavuot u'shnei yamim la'omer. Today is the 16th day, which is 2 weeks and 2 days of the Omer. Do we have any kids in here? Oh, yeah. No. Yeah, Ari, come on. You're the only one, but you have 2 arms, and the ark has 2 doors. Oh, that's going to be hard since it slides open. We'll figure it out. Please rise as we turn to page 282 for the Elenu. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol latet gedula liotzer breshit shelo asanu ki goye haratzot, velo samanu ki mishpechot hadama. Shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegoralenu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu koreim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Page 287. Ve'ne'emar ve'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yihyeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. Yeah. Good job. Please be seated. We have lived in numberless towns and villages, and in too many of them we have endured cruel suffering. Some we have forgotten, others are sealed in our memory, a wound that does not heal. 100 generations of victims and martyrs, still their blood cries out from the earth. And so many at Dachau, at Buchenwald, at Babi Yar. What can we say? What can we do? How bear the unbearable, or accept what life has brought to our people? All who are born must die. But how shall we compare the slow passage of time with the callous slaughter of the innocent cut off before their time? They lived with faith, not all but many, and surely many died with faith in God, in life, in the goodness that even flames cannot destroy. May we find a way to the strength of that faith, that trust, that sure sense that life and soul endure beyond this body's death. They have left their lives to us. Let a million prayers rise whenever Jews worship. Let a million candles glow against the darkness of these unfinished lives. This Shabbat, we commemorate the death anniversaries, the yahrzeits of Arlene Delman, mother of Marcia Morris, Beatrice Zelkind, Naomi Shapiro, sister-in-law of Bernard Walt, Isidore Sherman, Henry Nathaniel Marson, father of Vinette Marson, Michael Hoffman, husband of Rita Hoffman, Meyer Jacob Smith, father-in-law of Bernard Walt, Penny Kroll, cousin of Wayne O'Mell, Saul Zelkind, William Yarger, the husband of Melissa Yarger. If there is and we are in the period of Shloshim for Ronnie Jacobs, the friend of Rachel Etheridge, and Rabbi Bob Kurtzer. If there is a name that you would like to add to our prayers of memory this evening, please raise your hand. We rise together and we join together on page 294 in the Mourner's Kaddish. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shmei Rabbah, Bi'alma divrach irutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chaye chon v'yomechon, U'v'chaye techol beit Yisrael, Ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mivorach Leolam Olamei Almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei D'Kudusha Brechu. Le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tush bechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'yimru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru, amen. Osei shalom b'mrumav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru, amen. Zichronam livracha, may all their memories be for a blessing as we say together, amen. Please be seated. And in President Kay Fleischaker's absence, our Vice President with some announcements.
Do you want me to do it so, like, the folks at home? This is what the folks at home get. I can't hear anything. So I'm going to do this really loud and really close, and maybe those at home can hear it. This Sunday, sisterhood meeting, meet in the choir room, the music room. You're going to get the ballot with the slate and the bylaw changes. You can download it online, or we are trying to mail them out as well. Sunday, the 30th, is the church's 5th Sunday potluck, and it is also starting at 2 o'clock, an active shooter drill and a class on the defibrillator. So if you could come, that would be great, because it's really easy and everyone should learn how to do it.
And who's teaching that class?
That is being taught by Katie Rockland, RN. So, and I ordered new pads because, by the way, our pads were expired. So we have new pads coming. And we have training pads, so somebody can volunteer to wear the pads and the shock will not go through, so you're not going to die.
It would be so much more funny, though, if it did go through.
It would if the shock came through. But anyway, let's see, please contact Tommy to sponsor an oneg. I hope they're filling up. We booked one, so I'd love to see everybody book one. Bema Flowers, I have Susan Ahern in honor of Michael's birthday. Happy birthday. Did we sing to him?
We did not, but
We
that
did
way
not.
you had to sing to everybody that had a
Yeah,
birthday.
there you go. And this week's oneg is sponsored Betsy Brody in honor of Michael's birthday. Happy birthday. And Thursday, the 27th, if you're free at 2 o'clock, we have a fundraising meeting. Come, you never know. You might enjoy. I'll bring chocolate, whatever it takes. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Julie. Thank you, choir. Thank you, Jay, for filling in this Shabbat. Thank you all for dealing with me and my voice this evening. I do not have COVID. Do not worry. I just have a bit of a cough. It's going around. Carly and I probably got it last weekend in Tampa. Tampa, is that where we went? Tampa, yeah. I tell you, since living in Florida, I've been to Orlando 4 times. I've been to Tampa twice. I've been to South Florida. I've been to more cities in Florida in the last year than probably the previous 45.
Sicker than you've ever been in your life, right?
Yes, I have gotten more sick in Florida. Actually, Bacha asked me if moving to Florida caused something to happen in my system, because I seem to always have something. Yeah, it's allergies, I know, but my body's going to get used to it. So a favorite of all time, our closing song, please choir, join me. It's on page 322, Ein Kelohenu. Bringing back classical reform. Ein Kelohenu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kimalkenu, Ein Kemoshienu, Michelohenu, Michadonenu, Michemalkenu, Michemoshienu, Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Malkeinu, Nodel Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu. I'd like to point out, by the way, that little pathetic candle that was almost burned out before we lit the other two is the only one still going. What? Or it's a haunted miracle. Michael Brody will lead us in Hamotzi and Kiddush in the social hall. See you there. Shabbat Shalom.